Hello YouTube, it's England Teen, and welcome to the Marvel vs. DC for March 29th, 2017. Every book released from Marvel and DC has been read, they've been scored, and we're going to find out which one is actually better. Now the scoring is very simple 5-star scoring. The scoring is a very simple 5-star scoring system. 1 sucks, 2 is pretty below average, pretty bad. 3 is average, 4 is pretty good, above average, and 5 is excellent. 5 does not mean it's on the same level as Dark Knight or Watchmen. It just means it did what it needed to perfectly. Alrighty, so let's get this ball rolling. First, a little shout out to my brother Chef Jack, who helped me read and score some of these. And on to the books that doth sucketh. These are the 1-star reviews. Harley's Little Black Book number 6. You got Harley Quinn meeting up with Lobo, who get themselves stuck on a hostile planet and have to find a way to get themselves off. And I wish that was actually a play on words, because the book seemed to be all about them trying to find a place to have sex, and each of them talking exactly like each other. Literally, you could switch out the dialogue and not have anything change here. It was like watching a whole bunch of people that really need to make up for something try to peacock for each other. Horrible dialogue. It was one note all the way through, and the art was good at best. Unfollow number 17. Now, the Unfollow series has never impressed me. It seems to want to be about communication, and in this case, it's communication between man and God. But instead of being about what it wants to be about, it seems to just be about wanting to be about something. And if that sounds stupid and pretentious, that's also Unfollow. This book is so full of itself, I am just surprised it's not a whole bunch of blank pages and a cover that says you're stupid for not understanding. Deadpool and the Merch for Money number 9, and I have to say this one might be on me because I have not read the first 2 chapters of this story. However, this is so not new reader friendly. I mean, I've read incoherent messes before, but this is almost an insult to incoherent messes. It lost me in the first few pages. Oh no, I liked the opening with the guy talking about the monster masks, and after that, I'm out of there. It just lost me. It just wasn't good. The dialogue, the art was okay, but not okay enough to save it. This was originally reviewed by my brother, who basically just went on a rant about making Dr. Doom a hero, and I absolutely agree with him on that, but I like to review the book itself. Last issue I liked, but I was so surprised at this one. Except for a little flashback to him and Reed Richards together, there was no rhyme or reason to anything. The motivations are so foggy in this book that the action means nothing. Great cover, though. Gotta give it to the cover. 1 point for the cover. On to the 2-star books that didn't exactly suck, but just weren't good. X-Men Prime number 1. This is a preview book, which is something because they actually put out a preview book called Resurrection, and this is so disjointed. It's just not a good story. There's no cohesion between they don't go together. Okay, the stories just do not go together, and it's all basically, hey, this is coming up. It fell apart. It's not a very good book, and definitely not worth your money, kids. Man-Thing number 2, and this one was reviewed by my brother, and he says that he really wanted to enjoy it, and I know he did. That's why I gave it to him to read, is because I know he loves the character. Yeah, he likes Swamp Thing, and he likes the little inferior Man-Thing over at Marvel also. But and I agree with him, because I read it also, that this story is so repetitive. It really is. The dialogue is repetitive. I want this to be a better book, and hopefully it will get better in the future. However, this issue right here, obviously, is not good. All New X-Men number 19. This is where the Beast takes the X-Men into the past to show them that they are stuck in the present. It deals with the timelines and everything, the fact that when they moved, they were in a different timeline, and it was okay. It was a decent book, at least 3 stars, until the ending where they have a big American dance party. For the Kevin Smith fan, you'll understand that. And I just thought it dragged the book down. I had to give it 2 stars. She's Captain Marvel, Mighty Captain Marvel. So we got Mighty Captain Marvel number 3. And I wanted to like this book because I remember enjoying the first one enough. I thought it was an average book. This one, however, is marred by so much pseudo-science dialogue that it just confuses the issue. All we find out is that she gets mad when she's around kids. It just could not hold my interest. I'm sorry, guys. I got to say this was boring. The 3-star books are average, which means it's up to you. For me, it didn't go one way or the other, but for you, it could be bad or good. I don't know what the team calls themselves. I'm not calling them Occupy Avengers. But anyway, Hawkeye's team gets stuck in a small town. Now, I wanted to hate this film because hate this book because I don't like what they're doing with Hawkeye. However, the story is great, but the dialogue is so bad. So what you going to do? You're going to put it on the average list. This is a great story looking for a better writer. Batman and the Outsiders number 3 here. I gave to my brother so he could read it and review it. However, he just went on a rant about how much Lobo sucks. So I had to take it and read it myself. And I gotta say, holy crap, this book was average. Yeah, there's a lot of fight scenes, but actually most of the fight scenes take place off the page. So it's all set up for what's coming next and nothing that's happening now. So, 3 stars. So, Batgirl Annual number 1 has Batgirl in 2 different stories. The first one is actually a Supergirl story. It has little to do with Batgirl except for she's in it. And it sets up Supergirl in a future issue. The second one has Batgirl finding out that she doesn't have time for her best friend. And her friend ends up accidentally going on an adventure with her where they get into a fight. This is okay. I mean, it's an average book and it's hard to critique an average book. Completionists will want to get it, but I cannot recommend it to anybody else. Inhumans Prime number 1. Now this, much like X-Men Prime, is a previews book. However, this at least has a narrative that goes through and properly connects the stories. Is it great? No, because it's still disjointed, because it basically is trying to show you what each book is going to be about. However, it's not horrible either. It is an average book. If you're into the Inhumans, it would be worth picking up. If not, I don't see why you wouldn't wait for the issues of the regular series to come out anyway. Booster Gold and the Flintstones, one shot. It was a classic example of a decent book that has an ending that ruins it, or at least brings it to average grade. And it deals with Booster Gold in his own future, has an alien invasion, goes back to Earth's past to stop whatever it was that the aliens got offended by, ended up causing the invasion, and has to recruit the Flintstones to help him change history. DC Comics Bombshells Chapter 88. This was some very good dialogue. And it was a decent story. No action to speak of. It wasn't entertaining, but it was interesting. The characters discuss the events of last issue and what's going to happen in oncoming issues. So it's not really anything in the present. It's not horrible. Just like I said, it's an average book, but if you have been reading this, you'll enjoy it. So I gave this one to my brother, Commandy Challenge number 3, and he hasn't read any of the previous issues, and neither have I, and he didn't tell me what happened. He just gave the review. He says, I felt a bit like I was stepping into the movie in the middle, except he was able to make some sense out of it. It was a one damn thing after another kind of story, but otherwise pretty enjoyable. Not perfect, the art was distracting, and there was absolutely no time for anything but action, action, action. What's the phrase? Story but no plot. There you go. An average book with a lot of story but no plot. Star-Lord number 5 is another book I gave to my brother to review. He gave a review, but he didn't tell me what happened. So I'll just read what he says. He says, this book fell under the it's not bad per se, it's not good either. I couldn't figure out the story because it kept getting interrupted by the fight scenes. And I couldn't enjoy the fight scenes because the story kept getting in the way. So there you go. I guess it's an unbalanced style of book. The 4-star books. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Green Lantern Space Ghost one shot. Now this has the 2 space cops going to a planet because they hear there's this ultimate weapon and they have to obtain it. And when they get there, they find out that it's a planet that does not allow people to speak of or to go past their own atmosphere. Nothing is in space, and it's blasphemy to say that there is. So they protect a family that has created an engine to take them out into space. That's the story, and it was pretty good. I mean, it was actually good, and it had some really great art. I enjoyed this book. It fell just a little bit short of actual being great, and I think that was the story's fault. It does not do anything new with the story. Still, it is very entertaining, and it uses Space Ghost and Green Lantern very well, I thought. It's a good book. Check it out. I have to admit, I have not read the Ghost Rider since the first issue, where I kind of blasted it for Ghost Rider being a special guest, a guest star in his own book. This, however, was fun. It was, they fight the big monster at the end. It was exciting. I'm not sure exactly why everything was happening. They did explain things to get me caught up enough, and it was quickly paced. It was entertaining. It was everything a final chapter has to be. Suicide Squad, The Banana Splits. This was my most anticipated one-shot of the bunch, and I have to say it did not disappoint. I was a huge fan of The Banana Splits as a kid, so I was really looking forward to this. I love the way that they use the Banana Splits, the fact that they're a band. They get captured one night and thrown in prison. All the prisoners think that they're furries. It's the same night that a mission goes wrong for the Suicide Squad, so Amanda Waller has to find a quick replacement, and she sees them in prison and decides to bring them onto a mission where they have to rescue the Suicide Squad. It's fun, it's funny, it never takes itself seriously. This book knows exactly what it's supposed to be, and it runs with it. That being said, the reason why this isn't 5-starred is because of the Snagglepuss story, which it sucked. Oh my gosh, talk about way too serious, self-adulating crap. Here's another book I gave to my brother, and I'm looking forward to reading it myself because I love this series, and this is what he had to say. Once again, did not tell me the plot. Excellent story, great fight scenes, a villain that was effective, and a scene with Hawkeye that just proves that dissing a man whose power is being the best at a skill in the world that anyone has ever seen is always a bad idea. Okay, and it gives us an actual reason to be wary of the Trapster. He can suffocate you in that glue, folks. It's a bonus. The only problem he had was the Dewey Ex Machina 60s style last-minute reprieve of the so-called Dead Avengers. And that was his review. There you go. 4-star book. I look forward to reading it myself. Spider-Woman number 17 is actually my introduction into the Spider-Woman comic series, and it is the last issue of the series. So I was a little disappointed because I really like this one. Jessica Drew, she throws a party to introduce her superhero friends to her former supervillain boyfriend. He feels uncomfortable, hears the baby cry, quickly goes to check on the baby, and the baby, Spider-Woman's child, is exhibiting superpowers. So the new boyfriend and everybody tries to calm the baby down. And I thought it was a lot of fun. I loved the dialogue. It got a little hammy between Jessica Drew and Natasha Romanoff. But otherwise, it was a lot of fun. It was a good time to be had. It was well written. I think I'm going to go back and read the other 16 issues. Thanos number 5 is another example of good book. It has, you're not starting this book at the beginning. It's definitely almost to the end of a story, it looks like, but it explains everything just fine, so you can jump in and enjoy and get the story and want to know what happened before and want to follow what's going to happen again. In this, Thanos has been jailed. His captors believe that he's been broken, and the other Titans plan a jailbreak for him, or at least that's what it looks like. And I got to say, I liked it more than I thought I would. It was exciting. It's got great characters. The dialogue's pretty good. I liked seeing Eros, the Star Fox, again. This is a book I want to follow from here on in. Here we go, folks. The 5 stars. The best of the best that DC and Marvel had to offer this week. The last of the DC Hanna-Barbera crossovers was given to my brother. He hasn't been following the Hanna-Barbera titles, but I think he's going to want to change that after this. And once again, he didn't tell me what happened in the book, but here you go, and I haven't read it yet. If this first issue is any indication, he didn't know it was a one-shot, this series is going to be fantastic. The story was fun. The callbacks to Adam Strange's continuity, not to mention the Johnny Quest continuity, were great, and the late cameo by Birdman was just the cherry on top. But the high point was the appearance of the Herculoids. Man, I am such a geek. The Top Cap Batman crossover was a little less thrilling, but still enjoyable. So there you go. He really liked this book. I've been liking these crossovers. I've read all of them except for this one, but I highly look forward to this one. Dark Knight 3 is another book that I gave to my brother. I haven't read any of it, and neither has he. I've learned a long time ago, don't start reading a Frank Miller story until it's all the way finished. You might never get to the end. All right, so this is what he says about it. And this just shows why I'm such a huge fan of Wonder Woman. There is one scene in this book that just makes it for me. After being told that the Kryptonians are attacking the Amazons, Diana thinks to herself that the Kryptonians have no idea what they are getting into, and then she proceeds to kick Kryptonian ass. And he just says that that made the book for him. So there you go. Once again, it doesn't tell us what happens except for, I guess, the Wonder Woman kicks some Kryptonian ass. I am looking forward to this, and obviously he enjoyed it himself. 4 sets of JLA Teen Titans Mentor Protege teams are locked inside an isolated tunnel system, and they have to figure out why they're there, where they are, and who put them there. And this is one very smart story. Everybody's using brains, and they're talking things through to find out what's going on. This is not a slugfest. It's not a big action-packed comic book. What it is an intelligent story that challenges the reader as well as the medium. So this is the last of the books that I gave to my brother to read, and I knew he was going to like this. I've read Old Man Logan myself and enjoyed it, so I handed this to him. And once again, he didn't tell me what happens. He just reviewed it. And here I was beginning to think that The Avengers was going to be the only decent story from Marvel this week. Along comes Old Man Logan. This was fantastic. Loved the character interactions, loved the story. I even loved the art, given that it fits the feel of the story. Thunderbolts number 11, the living cube, puts Bucky's mind back into his body during World War II in a bid to make him join Hydra, and this story is great. I was surprised. This is shocking me how much I'm liking this story, because usually I hate everything about this Nazi Cap thing, but this got me in. The art is really good, great cliffhanger. I gotta say, this book surprised me. This is the conclusion to the Dark Room story that's been going on here. Black Widow number 12. She goes in, tries to rescue all these little girls from suffering the same fate she did when she was a little girl. And this, I gotta say, I have not followed every issue of this, but this book caught me up, had great writing. It was an exciting end to a story that I haven't even been following, but I loved every minute of it. The dialogue was great, and it went along with the action, and it seemed like the characters did things because that's what the character would do rather than just the writer told them. This is how an action book should be. It was intriguing. I want to see the next issue as soon as possible. So there you have it. I think this was actually a stronger week than last, but let's tally up the scores. Both companies each had 2 one-star books, making it start off as a tie at 2-2. Only Marvel had 2-star books. They had 4 of them, which makes the score 10-2. For 3-star books, Marvel had 3 and DC had 5, raising the score up to 22-17. Marvel had 4 4-star books. DC had 2 4-star books, making the score 38 Marvel, 25 to DC. 5-star books are tied at 3 each, making the score 53 Marvel, 40 to DC. Marvel Comics released 16 titles this week. That gives them an average score of 3.31, almost a B. That's a really good grade for the week. I'm impressed. Way to go, Marvel Comics. 3.31. And DC Comics released 13 titles, making their average score 3.01. There you go, guys. It happened. With all my talk about how much I love DC and how much Marvel Comics is not very good, they won the week of 3/29/2017, March 29th, 2017. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to us for getting a lot of good books this week. check them out. Check all the ones at least 3 and up. You might enjoy them. So there you have it. That's my long-winded review show. What did you think? What did you agree with? What did you disagree with? What did you think I was just nuts on? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, please click like, share, subscribe to see more. But most importantly, thank you very much for watching.